I got a heads up from Scorn. It's determined in this order: wins, losses, then head-to-head record, then score difference head-to-head, then points for versus points against in all competition. So there was a little bit of an extra wrinkle in there just to be advised on. And if I'd known that, then I don't think I would have been okay with that 1 point from GG. So good for them.
Yeah, I think we gave up. Who did we give up point to? Was it Gallowglass or was it Quicksilver in that 2v2?
Oh yeah, it was
Quicksilver, I think.
Yeah, no. Hold on.
Well, it had to be because they're the only team that doesn't field the full team all the time.
February the 3rd, Gallowglass got 1 point on Bruce Squad. It was that match, I think.
Wow. Well, it makes for more interesting scenarios and changes, but big game for KCS. Really appreciate you guys' hard work and being there and being around and showing up for everything and putting up with my crap.
Ooh, do you want to tell the masses what you almost screwed up today?
Where did you almost screw up today? I think we need
Here is the magic. We've talked about this, and Alan was much smarter than me than the Hydra match, but every once in a while I will pull a home field advantage switcheroo. And I did not realize that we were not home because we're all sitting in the office in KCS, and I submitted the fake order in enough time to say, wait, no, we're not at home.
Yeah.
That's not actually what I wanted. So we could have seen a very different option for the match tonight, and the boys were very good about tolerating that. Again, new owner fluctuation, I guess, but
yeah,
thank you much.
It's always interesting. I don't think it makes a huge difference a lot of times, but there are definitely some situations where that owner advantage can potentially be, or the home field advantage, sorry, can be a big swing in things.
Not to point out the stars or anything, but seeing them have 3 Clavis versus having a priest in there makes a big difference when it comes to which team we're going to field or not. So, crazy.
Yeah, it's especially when stars are trying to do weird things like that. I don't think that the strategy that they used was necessarily bad, but I think that's the kind of strategy you can only do on the home field advantage. Or else when you're up against a team that doesn't have a way to maneuver around it. If you're up against a team with a deep roster, you can't do something that's that one-dimensional without having home field advantage and knowing what you're up against.
Are you talking about the Tri-Mage field?
Mm-hmm.
Well, to in their defense, they fielded it the first time against Brutes and it worked out, right? So, the expectation is let's try it again. Let's try it halfway into the season or a little more than halfway so that we can see if there are any chinks in it. And then, obviously it didn't work out. So my expectation is that they won't field that team again. Mm-hmm. That's my expectation, but we'll see.
Sure, and I could have. This is something I've struggled with across the entire season, which is, I don't want to say necessarily throwing matches, but not planning ideally for them, just to try and save things for the playoffs.
Sure. Yeah. Sure.
And that's a situation where I could have maybe done it, but I've. And here's the, it's just the Stars undefeated record.
You couldn't give that up.
I don't want to give them that. If they get it, that's fine. But I don't want to just hand it to them on a silver platter. So I had to take it away from them when the opportunity arose.
We've tried a few times, but we haven't been successful yet.
Still scored 2 points in both matches.
Yeah.
Cool.
I think Stars are getting kind of frustrated with me too, just because it's the last couple seasons. It's kind of been, even if it's just that standing in the way of that perfect season, it's been the Brutes standing in their way. Because it was that one, was it season 3 that they went 19-1, and then that one loss was Brutes. We kind of been roadblocking them a little bit the last couple seasons, and I think there may be a little bit of resentment there.
Well, there was discussion on the forums today or yesterday about how Stars' continuity was a big thing. Like, they'd fielded the same lineup for a long time. And I think by nature, when you field the same 4 guys throughout most of the past seasons, then it's kind of like evolution. Like something comes up and evolves, and then there's a defense mechanism against it that evolves with it. So at this point, Stars' reaction has to be to evolve again and have something new, because the same lineup probably is not going to work every single season.
I don't know. Bodrum's got a lot of hit points and mana.
Yeah. Well, that's
Well, see,
that's true.
When the characters you're using continue to evolve as well, and I mean, like I said, I've said this before, but I mean, brutes are not immune to that kind of thing either.
Adjustments.
Yeah, but
Well,
I think it's the way ACFL is. People get really devoted to to their characters, and then with the DSL situation being what it is, that kind of enhancement tends to happen.
Yeah, I don't think anyone's prepared for the Grump, though. The priest with the cone damage is not something that you're used to seeing.
Yeah, honestly, that's the sexiest thing ever. I can't get over Crump. Like he's so beautiful to watch. Like he gets in there and just like, and people keep not protecting against him because they're like, oh, we want to protect against Kempaz, or we want to protect against Xantiln or whatever, and then just like Medio, and you're taking 3 yellows around as well as everybody else on your team. Like holy crap.
Well, here on the Reklah show, we've heard a lot about how brutes are made for us, so we do kind of think about that on occasion.
So you think you have something figured out, or you just kind of have something that you hope is going to work, and you're going to swing for the fences?
We'll see in the playoffs.
Hey, playoffs. There's still the regular season.
Yeah, but I don't think that's a bad move. I mean, if you had something special, I would definitely say it's probably, unless it's something that you need to practice and work on, I don't think it's a bad move to hold it back until the postseason, because at this point you're not gonna pull ahead of brutes, so there's not necessarily. I mean, unless you're in danger of losing your playoff position entirely, so that might be a concern,
Which I don't think we are at all. So.
If we continue to beat Gallowglass and Hydra, we should be fine.
Yeah.
So pretty confident. And yeah, the choking. I mean, the choking has been pretty effective against Hydra so far. Gallowglass. I mean, you guys busted it out today, but important to note is, Gallowglass thought they had the answer to Grendel in having the Pixie in there. That did not work out. So the next time you face them, you're probably going to be up against, you might be up against Arthaeus instead of Puck for that 4th slot. And if that's the case, then, they'll choke up against you again. It might be a little bit harder for Slann to keep control of the situation.
Yeah, that'll be interesting. I'm not scared of Arthaeus.
Oh, Grendel.
No fear. You may
So
not
I
be,
think
but
what
the rest of your
I'm
team,
not scared of him.
The rest of your
I think
team
what
might
Phil
have
is
more trouble.
I think what Phil is saying to you, Dan, is maybe put a light sleeper on Sean. A little of that ownership mitigation.
That is not outside the possibilities.
Okay, what a crappy situation that's going to be, though. If ACFL evolves to the point where everybody has a 3rd merit light sleeper, that would be so stupid.
Yeah.
Well, the craziness evolves around the fact that being poisoned helps you stay awake. So, however that works, that's just one of those things that I eventually think that the think tank will decide this doesn't actually make sense, and we'll see that evolve in the future.
I've always been in favor of it. I think choke needs a little bit of counterplay, and I think the counterplay that choke, Bard, Rooster's Crow, poison, cure poison, I think all of that interplay actually creates for a very interesting, exciting, and dynamic gameplay experience in terms of the arena group matches, at least.
allows
it's
for great
definitely
strategy.
true.
You have to have someone that has cure poison if you want to
Yeah.
field a choker to make it
Well, you
efficient.
don't have to have the cure poison, but I'm saying like it, it provides, okay, they have a choker. Well, do we want a bard to try and counteract that, or do we want to it provides very interesting dynamics is all I think. I mean, it adds more depth to the lineup choices. It adds more depth to the actual matches, and I think overall, you can argue about what you think about it in terms of field PK and everything, but I think it adds something honestly irreplaceable to ACFL and Clan Wars.
Yeah. I want to make a
Definitely.
note that I took one E drain that match, and it was for 9 mana.
9 mana, yeah, that one at the very end. I was kind of
Yeah.
laughing about that because I was like, you can't have any mana at this point. But
Why did he even? I had like 100 points and 9 mana. I was like, all right.
because he can, that's why. That was just
You
you
just
see what I
wanted
can do
to
to you?
put that in there, yeah.
Too great.
So where do you guys see yourselves going? Do you think you have the third place position pretty locked up?
Uh,
I don't know
Yeah,
about
unless
them, but I
things
feel like
go
it's
horribly
unlocked
wrong.
by now. Because we hold the tiebreakers over GG, and we're what, two wins up on Hydra, and we have the head-to-head against them, right?
Yes.
So
mean-
We feel pretty comfortable.
They're both good teams. I mean, they both have played really well. I mean, you can look at a given match where they've had some really good success and a couple where they really struggled. But they're, when it comes down to it, this is the most competitive ACFL season that we've had, and
absolutely.
they're both going to be a scrum in the trench, and we just think that the way we've been playing, as long as we don't make big mistakes, we're gonna kind of keep coming out on top, hopefully.
Yeah, I think the only way that like Gallowglass would pull ahead of us is if they beat Stars and Brutes and everyone else except for us in the next week. That's the only way they're gonna pull ahead of us.
They
Or we
also
do
then
stupid
again-
stuff and like throw away a
Right.
match or something.
Well, I don't think
Right.
they're going to beat Brutes. I think they have more potential to beat Stars just because of that double choke composition, which I think their choke composition is going to have a harder time with Brutes, but might be a little bit more effective against what Stars tends to field. Of course, Stars does have their own double choke composition that they can put out there, which they debuted sort of tonight.
I don't see that as a viable comp against like the top teams, though.
Because I mean, the
It's-
interesting thing about that is if they do the double choke, then who are they dropping? They've got Kempaz and Bodrum has kind of been the staple, and
You can't
Azula.
really play one without the other, I feel like.
I mean, you could.
But I don't think it'll work too well.
Well, I mean, Kempaz, I don't know. It just depends. Bodrum has always been kind of terrifying, even on his own. He can kind of wander off, do his own thing, chain everybody to death by himself. A lot of times, it seems. So I don't know. It'd be interesting, but to do the double choke composition, you do have to drop one of the mages or Azula. If you drop Azula, then you lose.
Then you have no
cure
healing,
poison.
really.
You have no almost no healing. You have no curatives. You have no cure poison. So you got to keep Azula, and then you're dropping.
You can't
either
really drop
Bodrum
Kid.
or Kempaz. So I don't know. It's interesting, and that's probably.
I feel
why
like if
haven't
they were
done it,
gonna do
because
that-
they can't really come to a consensus about who to drop.
I feel like if they were going to do that, they would have, tested it earlier in the season or something.
Well, they've been pretty clear in saying that they have not been experimenting, and how much of this you believe is debatable, but they've been pretty clear in saying that they have not been experimenting much in the season because they want to go for that perfect season. And now that they've lost, they've been saying, now we're gonna, we've lost the perfect season. We don't have that access available to us anymore. So now we're gonna start experimenting. Now we're gonna try and find something something else that works. And so that's possible. But trying it out against Quicksilver, I don't know that really.
Counts.
Yeah. 4v2. I'm not sure that would really show you anything at all. You know, if they'd have just sent in the 2 chokers and let it be a 2v2 that way, then you could have like maybe at least seen how effective, you know, how fast they can be, and you know, if they're really hitting their chokes and being on the spot with them. But as it is, I don't know that it just did anything. So who are they going to try it against? You know, they could try it against Hydra, who, you know, did fall to the double choke comp already.
Right.
You could try it against, I mean, what does Gallowglass offer?
They have a Scald, I guess.
Yeah.
So
Gallowglass's Scald has been, has not really done a whole lot. But they've got the double choke of their own, so then you're kind of like choke versus choke, and then that's kind of a risky proposition, you know. You know, Saigash and Azur have not really hit the field all season.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Azur was in the first match, I think, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I feel like he was in that first match versus Brutes. But, you know, I don't know that you want to test their first match necessarily in a choke versus choke against 2 guys that have been doing it all season. But we'll see.
That's a fair thought.
I do think you guys have the edge definitely going in, and with tonight's win, looking pretty comfortable. You guys definitely look stocked to take that. How do you feel against Stars, though? Do you feel comfortable going up against them?
I feel like we
anyone
gave
can
up
really
the last
feel-
game.
Yeah, we could have
I
taken
feel like
the
we
last
could have won
game.
that. Yeah, we could have had that one. And a couple
but-
miscues on my part.
The last game, what was their lineup? Was that they didn't have their usual lineup, did they? They were running.
Yeah, they
like,
did. They had Bodrum Kimpaz as a little kid.
Were they? I thought they ran Leighton, but I could be wrong.
No.
Then yeah, I mean, if they were running their A team, then and it was 3-2, is that correct?
Yeah.
Then yeah, I mean, it definitely seems doable, especially if, you know, when you have a choker, all things are possible, right? That if you can just put people down, control the flow of the fight, it really, anything is possible as long as you can make it happen.
Yeah, no, that's exactly true. I mean, that's the strength of the double choke combo as well. I mean, once you establish control, it's easier to maintain it.
Okay. Well, you guys, who are your next matches? Do you know?
I
It
think
looks
we're
like,
Brute Squad's next, actually.
Yep, next match is Brutes on Tuesday, so I'm sorry for what we're going to do to you then.
We'll be waiting.
And then you've got an easy win to follow that up against Quicksilver. So and then Hydra after that. So I'm gonna
We're big
say,
on not we're big on not looking too far ahead, but yeah.
I'm sorry?
We're big on not looking too far ahead, taking it one match at a time, keeps things from being distracting.
Yeah.
Obviously, you know how that goes with your triple header or your double header coming up, and that's got to be floating around in your head, and it's got to be floating around in the stars also.
Well, it's Reklah, not me.
Oh, pardon me. Yeah. So.
But yeah, yeah, it's gonna be interesting. But again, I'm sorry for what I'm gonna do to you on Tuesday, but you'll have a win on Sunday to follow that up. So that'll be a nice little consolation prize.
Can't wait.
Guys. Thank you guys for coming on. It's a blast every time, and good luck on your future matches. Hope to see you in the playoffs.
Reklah had to dip out early, so just want to go ahead and throw out his good game.
Yep, good games. All right, have a good night, folks. All right, thank you guys for tuning in. That's going to do it for tonight.